Live, it's Dan Latto speaking. Hope you're well. If you've got any questions, just let me know. Just pop them in the box, and we'll do our best to answer them. We're stuck in the villa basically because we're in quarantine, as you probably know. Not because there's anything wrong with us. There's something wrong with everyone else, i.e., coronavirus. So if you've got any questions, please let me. I'm checking I'm live in the group, and I'm on Facebook, and I'm on Twitter, and I'm on YouTube all at the same time. We're just sat outside because it's March and it's Spain and it's nice and warm. If you've got any questions about business, if you've got any questions about marketing, just let me know. Got some people on. Please come and say hello. Love to hear from you. If you've got any questions, please let me know. If you want to know where we are, I'd like to know where you guys are actually. Where are you watching from? So I think I might be in danger of getting some cabin fever because this is really weird. So we're quarantined and it's a good sized villa and we've got outside space and so on. Hey Debs, London, hope you're well. You guys are going to get quarantined down there soon, just so you know. It's happened in Italy, it's happened in Spain, it's happening right now in other places as well. And this stuff is going to come and hit people quite hard if you're not prepped for it. And I'm not into like prepping massively, but I am into kind of self-survival, as in we need to continue. So you just need to make sure that you've got stuff in place. But anyway, we are quarantined here, and I'm kind of in danger, I think, of getting a little bit of cabin fever just because it's just like it's weird. Like you're just not allowed out the front gate, and someone just got fined in wherever it was, Valencia, I think it was. They were on a bike, like a racing bike in all the gear. One of the big things here in Spain is that they go out in big groups and they all wear the same like outfits. And there was one guy and he got pulled over and then they were fining him. And the fines, I think, are anywhere between €500 and €3,000, depending on number of offences. So this is how serious they're actually taking the quarantine here. As I just said in the previous live, there's nothing wrong with us, but there is potentially something wrong with other people. And so they're quarantining everybody. And if you're in the UK right now, or if you're in the States watching this right now, they're going to quarantine you too. Like, I love zombie films, like who doesn't? And we've seen how that film ends in the States with the guns and so on. Like in England, I don't know, we don't have that level of threat because we don't have guns as such. We do have pans and pots, maybe people attack them. Anyway, if you guys got any questions, I'd love to hear what your question is. You can ask me anything. Anything to do with property, anything to do with business, anything to do with quarantine, anything to do with property sourcing, anything to do with anything. I don't really care. Just let me know. Let's have a look. Here we go. Thank you for asking me a question, by the way, Debs. I really appreciate that. Okay, do you think estate agents are a good source of practical info when becoming a deal source? Kind of. It's almost like one of those yes and no answers. So let me go into some depth. And if you've got other questions, by the way, folks, and please ask it. So estate agents. First of all, I don't like estate agents. We turn up in their any slicked back hair. Apologise to any estate agents, kind of. They think we know everything. And this was always my argument for the last 20 years of investing. If they knew stuff, they would be doing this already. Do you know what I mean? They would be doing this. They'd be property sourcing, they'd be buying properties to rent out. And I always asked the question to estate agents, why are you not getting into buy to let? And for them, their product was the selling of housing. It's their product. It's not investing. They could sell photocopiers or computers. I'm an ex-computer sales guy. But for them, their product just happens to be housing. They're not into housing, they're into sales. Okay? Now, they've got to have a certain level of education and knowledge, but honestly, the number of times I've gone on and it says, get this buy-to-let property, it's £80,000, and you phone them up and you go, 80 grand, great, what's the rent? And they go, oh, I don't know about that. Well, it's rented, right? Yeah, it's rented. Well, how much is the rent? Well, oh, I don't know about that. Can you find out? Yeah, I'll find. I mean, they never phone you back, or they do phone back like 3 days later and you've bought another place. So on one hand, estate agents have a font of all knowledge, housing and so on. But if you ask an estate agent, you're busy? They'll all go, yeah, really busy. Even though the housing market might be dead, really busy. So they don't they don't really tell the truth. That's a problem for me. So a very good source of practical, specifically what information you need. So in the property sourcing training, which I think you've probably bought, there is a section on due diligence about how to find out what's going on in that marketplace. But one of the other aspects here is that you should know in your gold mine area what the houses are going for. So, there was a time when I lived in the UK where I could walk up and down the streets and I go, that one's been on for 6 months, but it's 15 grand too high. When that price comes down, we might have put offers in already, or maybe not. But we know intimately what all the houses are going for. Now, if you're not local to that area, then obviously that's a bit harder for you to do, really. But you should be able to move. If you've got a postcode, say LS12, which is Armley in Leeds, and you can put in a specific postcode and up to a quarter metre around, and then you can go on Google Maps and you can see what all the street names are, and you can get a good feel for it. You can even go on Google Earth and walk down the street virtually with coronavirus around. I'd recommend you do that. Obviously. Like literally everything can be done virtually. I'll tell you a story. So a takeaway, and I couldn't find the phone number for the takeaway that I liked. So I went onto Google Earth and I knew where it was, and using Google Earth I walked down the street and I turned the camera to the signage, and on the signage it said the phone number to order my food. I just thought that was quite funny because they weren't on Just Eats or anything like that. And it was a place in Leeds, and I'd no longer live in Leeds, so it wasn't in my phone anymore. So they can, you being the font of all knowledge, you should be the good source of practical info when becoming a deal sourcer. And if you're not there yet, it means that you haven't done enough work yet. So it's like passing your driving test. Enough to pass your driving test gets you past the driving test, but you don't really learn to drive until after you've passed your test. Like, you learn how the basics work, but you've not heard the see if I can remember, it was 4 sections, confident and incompetent, I can't remember what it is, where you're, when you're first learning to drive a car, and competent and incompetent and confident. So when you're first learning to drive a car, you're both unconfident because you've never done it before, and you're incompetent. You've never done it before, so you don't know how to do it. After you're learning to drive the car, you become competent and unconfident. Okay, then you become competent and confident once you've passed your test, and that's the stage I need you to get to. And then there's a 4th stage, which is when you've been driving 25 years, and you become too confident and incompetent again. Right? You can become overconfident. So I think that's where you need to be, Debs. Hopefully that answers your question. You need to be the source of practical. So my success really came from, I would listen to other people and then I would try and implement what they did, and I would never have the same level of success that they did, or my success was different. And what I realized was all that knowledge from all these different people and make up my own ingredients to what success looks like, then the success actually increased and it accelerated. I got more successful faster to other people, and I relied on myself. So I love the idea, and I can't remember, was it Roosevelt, and on his desk, World War II, I think, and he had a name thing, and it says, "The book stops here." Like right now we're in lockdown, we're in quarantine. I am responsible for the safety of my family. The book stops with me. It's not the police, it's not the army, it's not the media. I am responsible for my own success or failure. Okay, so I take that on the chin, a little bit like what Boris Johnson is saying with the country. A few people might die, but that's fine. I believe that you should also take it on the chin as well. You should be the responsible party here. When, it's like, I'll give you another example. So when I had a client and I'm like, have you got the leaflets done yet? I'm going, no, not got the leaflets. I'm waiting for a graphic designer. Okay, well, what's the delay? And I've been waiting two weeks for him to come back to me. And then the question is, okay, so who's responsible for that? And they will go, well, he is. And I go, okay, so does it make a difference to him if you get your leaflets and, you find 10 deals and they go, Well, no. There you go then. It makes no difference to them, but it makes a difference to you. So if it makes a difference to you, you should be the responsible person to chase that person up. You are responsible. You're not to blame. But if that person hasn't come back to you, you are the one that's responsible for making sure that that happens. And this is one of the things that really winds me up as a coach, is people go, I say to them, have you done this thing for someone else? What do you mean you're waiting for someone else? For that action to be taken, and you are the one who's responsible for that. And it's kind of like this thing about taking self-care, and so many people just don't do it. Busy blaming everybody else, thinking that, well, it's not my fault, I've done my best. Well, that's not good enough, is it? You might have done your best, but it's not good enough. Sounds like I'm having a go. I'm not Debs. But your job is to make sure that you get the thing done, whatever that thing happens to look like, whatever that thing happens to be. You need to get it done. If you get it done, you are successful. If you don't get it done, you are not successful in whatever it is that you're trying to do. But if it's, well, I'm waiting to go to a networking event, well, it's nothing to do with a networking event. People go, well, I haven't got enough investors to sell my deal stuff. Well, who's responsible for that? Am I responsible? Well, no, obviously not. Are the networking events responsible? No, of course not. That, by the way, was car number 4 that we've had today. That's how much of a lockdown it actually is. Just people are not. We've had 2 or 3 people walk up, walking dogs, and that's it. There's nobody around. Very weird. Last night, by the way, 10 o'clock at night, we were on our roof terrace, which is just up there. And I don't think you can see the block of flats. That's a house just next to me. But where is it? Over there, there's some flats just over there. And at 10 o'clock last night was kind of instruction to go out onto your balcony and to applaud the emergency services for all the work that they're doing in helping people. Obviously, we've got a lot of people ill right now. So we went up on a balcony and we started clapping. And then other people started clapping, and it was really cool. And it was really cool because we're really isolated in the house, and you don't see anyone. It's really weird. It's like being in a film. So it's really weird. And then you see other people clapping. So you kind of clap for a bit, and then you stop and you hear other people clapping, and it goes round. People then stop clapping so they can hear you clap. It's really weird. Deb's just saying. Why are there so few people on this live? This info is vital. Thank you, Debs. I really appreciate that. I have no idea. Maybe they're out panic buying for toilet rolls. Who the heck knows? We generally don't get a huge amount of. Let's talk about that for a second, because I think that's important too. So people go. By the way, we've had over 1 million minutes watched, and I think we're about 440,000 views for all our videos. So everybody who's ever watched videos on YouTube stats, thank you very much. And what's interesting about that is that some of our videos got 2 views, some of them got 20, some of them got 1,000, some have got 5,000. Okay, and it depends what's going on with the algorithm and keywords. But what's really interesting is that, for example, we had one video and it had like 178 views, and one guy found me on YouTube, and it was dealing with overwhelm. That was the video. The dog's having a, by the way, and I'm walking the dog. It's quite funny. But the guy found me on YouTube. He then went and found my podcast series, which is why I should have a podcast series. And then he found the website. So all those things are building, like the YouTube. They have to like you, and then they have to trust you. And so the fact we're on YouTube, the fact we're on podcasts, and the fact that my website did the job, he then filled in a strategy form. And my coaching at the time was £5,000 for the year. It's £6,000 for the year now. 2 calls a month, if that's what you want. A little plug. But he filled in the form Saturday about 8 o'clock. We had a phone call at 7:30. Because I was picking up a client from the airport, one of the local airports, and by 11 o'clock that morning, he transferred £5,000 into the bank account and signed up for 12 months of coaching. And so this is the thing: it doesn't matter how many people watch your stuff; it's how going, the KLT stuff. So they got to know you, so they got to find you, they got to like you. So this stuff is just like me and you having a chat. Like if we were having a coffee in Costa right now, this is just the same sort of stuff. And then we've got to trust you. And the way that you build trust is through consistency. It's through having a good website. It's through having a podcast. It's through making sure you've got enough videos. It's trying to get more views on all of those things. So when people can see the views, that gives them kind of like social credibility, if you like. Social as in lots of other people have seen it, and credibility because it's got good numbers. But sometimes the numbers are not good. And the key is for you as a business owner, and if it's property sourcing, that's fine, is that you've got to be consistently putting out content, and you've got to be known, you've got to be liked, and you've got to be trusted. Any more questions, people? This, by the way, is a lilt. We went on to Iceland in Alicante. We went to Benidorm. We were meeting some friends, and on the way back, we dropped in through Benidorm for fish and chips, as you do, because we're British. And I quite like it, to be fair. And then we stopped at Iceland and bought some stuff. It was on offer, was Lilt. Oh, I've not had a Lilt for years. And it was just one bottle that was like out of date, so we bought it for like 80 cents. Let's have a look. I think you're less of a hype man and more of a realist. Yeah, I think change that around, but that's really not what we wanted to do. We wanted to be you see the other part of this, and so you got KLTCA. So write that down. The A is the one that I always forget. I should write it down myself. So KLT has got to know, like, and trust you. The C is you got to build credibility, and the A is you got to be authentic. Now, if you've not got authenticity, then you're going to fail. So Jordan Bell's straight line training is we've got to like you, we've got to like the product or service, and we've got to like the company. If one of those things isn't in alignment, you ain't getting that sale. So we've got to like you, we've got to like your product, we've got to like the company. Now, the company might be you, so we've got to like you, we've got to like the product. So we go back to KLTAC, let's call it. Got to know you, got to like you, got to trust you, got to be authentic, and you've got to be consistent. Let's have a look. Something else come back in. People would rather hear inspirational than actionable information. Yeah, I totally get that. I think sometimes we're inspirational because we're like, and it's inspiration because we go, oh my God, if he can do it, I can do it. And I whole 100% agree with that. But, one of the things I've analysed for the last 20 years is what makes this person successful and not this person. And there's so many different things. So, I could teach a person everything about being a property sourcer, or everything about marketing, or everything about being a buy-to-let investor, or marketing, or growing a business, or coaching, okay? And they would just get different results. And so, I've done this, and you tell people, do this, then you do that, then you do this, and there's 27 different steps, and they do all 20, and you look at the work, and then they look at mine, and mine looks like Picasso, and theirs looks like a 5-year-old's drawn it. No offense to my 5-year-old who's inside. But it's like either the raw talent's not there, or the sheer determination never to give up. So the number of times I've been called a dreamer, a loser, that'll never happen, or wish you luck, that's a real put down. And that actually just feeds fuel into my motivation. Whereas for other people, it puts them off, and they kind of get a bit disconcerted with the whole. They start questioning themselves. Well, maybe I'm not that good. Maybe my information is not that good. Like, who would want? I've gone through this, by the way. I'm 47, although age isn't an issue. But 5 GCSEs, a shitty school in Leeds. My dad was a wedding photographer, so he was self-employed, which is clearly where I get this stuff from. And I helped with his marketing to some extent, created his website and so on. Those websites in the 90s were dreadful. When we look at what we've got today. But it's like that raw material's there. And then not just the raw material to take action, but when you have obstacles, you don't give up. And I think this is a problem for a lot of people, is I don't know what it is. They believe the things that other people are telling them, which is complete bullshit. It's like, why don't you just keep doing what you need to do and keep doing it until you get the result that you want? An example for me right now is, like, I'm desperately trying to fast again. I've had a couple of 40-hour fasts in the last week or so, but now we're on lockdown. I'm just eating so much crap, and it's really hard. And I'm not working out, by the way, at all. But I know that, and this is the thing, I want to give up, and this is why I'm not getting the results that I want when it comes to it. And there's all sorts of reasons for giving up. The hunger, for example, when you fast, and it's ghrelin, and fasting's really good for you, by the way. But my mindset just hasn't been there. So you've got to be in the right frame of mind to continue to get the results that you want, and never, ever, ever, ever give up. And it's like imagine if you had this as a mindset. Okay, so the mindset is, every time I fail, I'm going to try. Every time I fail, I'm going to try twice as hard. So tomorrow you fail. Now you come in and you do twice as much work, and you do twice as much, and you try twice as hard. Fail again. Well, you've not doubled it from day one. You've quadrupled it, and the next one you've 8 times it, and the next one failure you've 16 times it, and the next one you've 32x'd it. Does that make sense? So it's like this idea of never, ever, ever giving up until you get the results that you want. Unfortunately, people don't do that. So the successful people, they give up when. Let me just pull this forward. There we go. They give up when they. No successful people, they give up when they get tired, and that just doesn't work. Dusty the cat is here. Hello, Dusty. Let me see. Are you coming to say hello? Here we go. It's Dusty the cat. Hello, Dusty. And we call her Chicken Legs because of her chicken legs. That's the cat. She's very meowy. Okay, are you investing in Spanish properties? So, Warren Buffett's model for investing is that he only invests in things that he understands. And I also do that too. At least I like to think I do. I do Forex, and I do Bitcoin. And I'm still learning on those things. But right. And that might change, or it might not. The model as we continue to move forward is just to buy more UK-based buy-to-lets. That's my model. And single lets, not HMOs. My not HMOs is there's an issue right now that I think is going to hit to do with council tax bans. So if the council tax are going to try and charge council tax for that one room in a house. So you're going to pay the same on a little room as you are for a big house. I actually think we're going to bring something else in where you pay 20%. That's still or maybe more, maybe £500 instead of £1,000. 50% of it. That's why I'm not on to HMOs. But I have got HMOs, and they're mini HMOs, by the way, people in at any one time, so it keeps it below the threshold. But obviously that's going to change because all these new rules are coming in. And I understand the rules because I can understand the language, and I've been doing it for 20 years. But when we moved to Spain, I was interested in investing in Spanish property, but getting someone out of a Spanish property, you think it's hard in the UK, they can stay there for 3 to 5 years and you're getting no rent, is my belief. And I've got a couple of friends that are investing right now, and they've confirmed it. So, but I don't know enough about it, and I haven't got enough of a language. And even if I had enough of a language, I haven't got enough of the legalese language to invest in properties in Spain. So the house that we're in right now isn't ours. We rent. It's a 4-bed villa. It costs €1,000 a month. We've got a swimming pool, and the beach is 100 meters down there. And it's a good size, big 4-bed with a big basement where the gym is, but doesn't get used. So we don't invest in Spain, and I've got no real intention of investing. We've been in this villa for 5 years, and we're just about to sign up, hopefully, touch wood, for another 5 years. And that's where I'm at. I'm very happy doing that. So think about this. To buy this villa is worth about £500,000. To buy this villa cost maybe, about £120,000, okay? But in deposits, and tax is enormous here when you're buying a place. It's like whatever it is. It's huge. And then you've got deposits and all the other stuff as well. Now, I could spend 120 grand on buying a villa that doesn't generate any income. Or I can spend, let's say you can buy houses for 20 grand down, which you can. And let's say they also make 250 quid a month, which they do. So I can buy 6 houses for 120 grand, which pays, let me just, Hang on. I can't do 250 times 6, you see. So I can buy, what was it, 6 units with £20,000 down at pay 250 quid a month. That's £1,500. I pay £1,000 a month for this, and that's in euros, not pounds, by the way. So we actually pay 950 euros, which is what, about 800 quid, 850 quid? Or I can make 1,500 quid by getting investments. So it's almost double. So why would I put money into this? Thank you. Debsy says it's like one-to-one mentoring. You're the only person speaking. So if anybody else has questions, then please come and ask. So, and you're on YouTube, aren't you? I can tell that. Interesting. So, so for me, it's not worth investing in a villa just to make me feel good, when actually I can be, what, £600 a month better off. That's £7,000 a year. Times that over the next 20 years. That's £84,000 better off. I can buy another 4 units and just keep building that. So it doesn't make sense to me. And this is something Grant Cardone suggested. And I had a good long think about it. And this is the idea of, you don't just follow people blindly. You take the best bits of information from the right people, and then you take them, then you implement them into how your life is going to be and how you want your life to work out. So I haven't at the moment got an idea to invest yet. That might change. We're able to pick up units here for about 45, 50,000 euros, which is about 15,000 euros down, which is about 13 grand down. So based on that, I can actually make some good money. You're making about 200 euros a month. And also, I'm very over leveraged with UK property right now, and that worries me. And a couple of extra things I'll add on to that then. So I'm over leveraged with UK property. I've got a business that I run, which is the content marketing company, and we do training courses, as you know. So we've got multiple streams of income. And it worries me not having enough of an income from different places as well as property. So that's why we do coaching. That's why we do the training courses, and the money just trickles in. That's nice. I'm getting that money. But I'm still over leveraged on UK property. But then there's a second aspect here, which is I'm over leveraged. So listen to this. I'm over leveraged with the UK pound, which means all my income is in the UK pound. And that makes me very worried as well. Because who the heck knows what's going to happen to the UK pound? Who knows what's going to happen to the UK? We've got Brexit, we've got coronavirus, we've got Boris. A person could imagine. And it worries me. So with that in mind, I kind of like the idea of having money in euros. So we've got a European bank account now with euros in it. And some money, by the way, in dollars. And that's just held through affiliates. And that money's just held. We've not drawn any of that cash out, but it's just in dollars. And so actually we're going to open a bank account in dollars as well, and open a US-based company too. And we're going to up the level of affiliate stuff that we do, as well as upping the level of courses that we do, and actually cut back on some of the coaching, ideally. So it's more creation and access, and then we just go live like this to give people one-on-ones and that kind of thing. So that moves the money away from just being property related. Now, interestingly, so on the money from property, we've built up enough over the last 20 years of investing through property, so we don't have to worry. Plus, on the training stuff that we sell, and the coaching stuff that we sell, and the digital marketing company, went tomorrow, we'd be safe there too. But that's only 2 legs of a table. That's not a very sturdy table, okay? And that worries me. So we want a 3rd leg, a 4th leg, a 5th leg. We want these tables to be like centipedes where they've got 100. In fact, there are no centipedes with 100 legs, and centipedes don't have an even number of legs. They only have odd number of legs. I have no idea why I know that. 0 idea why I know that. But we don't know what's going to happen with the finances, financial crisis. I mean, last week everything was great. This week, it's a shitstorm in a cup about to happen. It hasn't hit the UK yet, and it hasn't hit the two of the world's biggest economies. And I know France and Germany and Spain are not huge. Italy, I know they have, and China's enormous. But we're going to have some additional issues, I think, which worries me. Okay, so I want to become a full-time property investor by the end of college. I plan on starting affiliate marketing to pay for deal sourcing, compliance, and legal fees, and then pay for rent-to-rent. Debs, have you bought the training course for £27, property sourcing? Let me know, because if not, you should have that. It's 27 quid. It's like, just get the 27 quid training course. We cover, I forget what we cover. Is it 15 modules, 95 videos, everything from start to finish? We get some amazing feedback on that training course. We had someone a couple of days ago saying this was better than the £3,000 that they paid for a weekend training course, 27 quid. You should get that, and if you've not got that, you want to be a full-time property investor by the end of college. I love that as an idea. And so this is a thing. When you invest in it, goes like this for like 10 years, and then it starts going. This is a graph, by the way. When it starts going up, and then after 20 years, 5 years, 30 years, if you look at the graph for Warren Buffett in the last 15 to 20 years made twice as much money as he did as all. Oh, you have bought it. Thank you very much for your purchase, by the way. So Warren Buffett money after the age of 70, okay, in the last 20, is 82, I think, so in the last 22 years. And that's very similar when you're investing for the long term. So what you want is you want longer term goals, which money trickles in each month, and you know that in 20, 25 years, like if you're in college now, you want 20, 22, maybe 18, by the time you're 50, you'll be minted. And I'm not 50 yet either. I've got another 3 years to go, and actually they're shooting up now, and it makes a massive difference, by the way. So you've got that type of income, and that's your long-term goal. And then your short-term goal is to generate cash every single month, every single week, every single day. So this cash just keeps on. The reason why we create the training courses is that it took me 2 weeks to create the training course, and it's done, and we finished that in February, January 14th, I think we launched it, something like that. And it's the 15th today, so it's 2 months in, and that generates money every single month. Let's say it's £1,000 a month off each training course. I don't know what the numbers are exactly, but it's somewhere near there anyway. So like that's £2,000 a month. You create the thing once, and then you create the training course once. That's an asset, like a property is, and then it generates money forever. That's the whole point of assets. So Debs is 17, awesome, well done. And you're at sixth form college, love it. So I mean, seriously, so I was 26 when I first started investing, and then I got to £1 million worth by the age of 30. But I was still working from 26 to 30, and I went from 15 grand a year to 100,000 a year just before I kind of retired the first time. I was working at Dell. Bought a bright yellow Porsche 911, beautiful car, 42.5 grand, stupid thing to buy. Loads of fun. But I wouldn't do that again now. The other way around. Invest your money first. That's like, so I'll give you some numbers. If by the age of 18 to the age of 30, you can save, is it 300 a month or 800 a month? I think it's 800 a job, and you can save £800 a month. Okay, live at home till you're 30. You're on £2,000 a month, save £800 a month. By the time you get to 30, you will never have to work again. No, that's not right. By the time you get to 30, when you get to 55, you can retire because you'll have 1.8 million in your bank, in your pension, and you never have to work. But while you're doing that, you should be investing in property all the time. But learn it, and they've got a platform that's not solid enough. So, and what I mean by that is that if you're on a platform and it's really rocky, and you try and jump off, you're not going to be able to jump off properly because it's really rocky. If you have a really stable platform, there's enough money coming in each and every month. If you make a mistake when you're buying a property, it doesn't matter. But if your platform is really rocky and you've not got enough money coming in and you make a mistake, it will send you under. Do you see the difference there? Let's have a look. So we've got 9. Welcome, David. Let's have a look. My bottom's getting sore from sitting on this couch. Okay, I'm a Determined deal sourcer. Well done. What other websites resources apart from Zoopla and Rightmove, HMO properties and rent-to-rent properties? So there is a thing about getting the HMO list from your local council. Now, I do know that the council have been writing to people who've done this. So you download it and then you send them letters, and it's a breach of GDPR. So it's a breach of whatever GDPR stands for. You're not allowed to do it because you're taking the information for commercial purposes effectively. But that's one way of doing it if there's a risk. The other thing is you can go on to things like Gumtree, and you can find people on Gumtree, and they will have adverts up, 3 or 4 beds. You could also go onto for sale by owner, and you could say to them, why are you selling it on your own? Why are you not going through an estate agent? We might not be able to afford it. Might be negative equity. Why don't you just rent it? I'm fed up of tenants. Great. How about I do it for you then? Like, how easy is that? Networking events, exactly the same conversation. There are a lot of fed up landlords out there right now. They're pissed off with tenants. Section 21's going. Has it gone now? It's going. And they're just fed up. I just can't be bothered with it. And we just want like rent to rent. I mean, I can't give away too much information, David, because I don't think you've bought the training course, have you? Hang on a sec. Now, we do include some additional strategies for finding HMO properties and rent to rent in the £27 training course, which you should buy because it's all in there, and it's 27 quid. We detail an awful lot in this. The mindset module was worth the price of the 27 quid alone. I thought that was amazing. Whoever it was that said that. But I like, what I'll leave you on this one with, David, is I like the idea, we don't chase anybody. In my content marketing business, I don't chase anybody. I don't follow up with anybody. If they want to work with me, they know where I am. And I'm not chasing anybody. And people go, have you got a business card? But usually I say no. And if I've got a business card, it's not got my phone number on it. And people go, why's your phone number not on it? I don't want people to phone me. What? But people might phone you with business. No, I don't want that. I want form or go buy a product. I don't want people interrupting me. Imagine my phone going now and someone asking a million questions about a training course. Just buy it already. So I don't chase anybody. The reason why we don't chase anybody is that not getting leads coming through, then that's my fault because I'm not well known enough, or the know, like, and trust aspect. I'm not putting enough content out there that's good enough for people to go, I need to work with Dan. So if you're not, you've got to start becoming well known enough so that people go, I've got this guy who's got a property and he's got a problem. I need him to speak to David. David, let me introduce this person to you. And so you've got to get better known. This is the top tip I can actually give anybody. The problem for most people is nobody knows who you are. And you might go, well, I've maxed out with 5,000 friends. Great. Well, you've got 5,000 people who are not real friends, have you? With Facebook friends, that's a big. This is car number 5. We normally have 5 cars an hour. I know that's not too busy either, but we're in lockdown. But it's like this idea of people should know who you are. If people want to learn about property sourcing, they know to go to Dan's stuff, and it's very good. Because someone else has already told them, and we get that quite a lot. We get a lot of recommendation from current and previous clients as well. So usually the problem for most people is that they simply aren't well known enough. So, like, for example, we're going live. We're live for about 40 minutes. We've had people come in and off. I don't know how many views we've got on YouTube right now or Facebook right now. We're live everywhere, by the way. We're live on Periscope. Imagine that. We're live on Facebook, both in my mastermind group. You should come and join that, by the way, if you're not already in it. I think the link is on the thing below. And we're live on my profile as well. So we're live. But what that does is it builds awareness. It builds, like, people got to know you, got to like you, got to trust you. You've got to be authentic, and you've got to be consistent as well. And that's the problem that most people deal with. And they go, yeah, but I don't like going live. Don't go live then. You can record it. Oh, I don't like my face on video. It's 2020. this is what we do. This is how we work. This is where we are now. We're we go with FaceTime. I was speaking to someone this morning. We were messaging on Snapchat, and they accidentally pressed FaceTime, and we spoke face to face. It's just how it works. You've got to know that this is what. And most people are not doing this, by the way. And because most people are not doing this, this gives you an opportunity, because if you do start doing this, you're the exception. People can start to know you. So I think you've got to raise your reputation much, much more. Now, it's about you, by the way. And so a couple of things on that. One is tell people what to think. Dan, he's an awesome guy. Thank you very much. That's what you should think. Whether I am or not is irrelevant. That's what I want you to think. I might be, I might not be. Who the hell knows? I don't even know. But you should be putting out what you want people to think of you. Like politicians, hello, like they're such lying people, aren't they? Nearly swore. But you've got to raise your profile massively within the industry, so that you're known for getting deals, being the guy that can do the rent to rent and so on. I'm getting a little bit blinded by the sun. We're going to go for another couple of minutes, by the way. Do you know any reputable deal sources? We wouldn't recommend anybody, and we never do, just because the comeback on that, if they turn out to be disreputable, comes back on us, not on them sometimes. So, but get yourself out to networking events. Appreciate you 17. Networking events can be a little bit like overwhelming sometimes. So take somebody else with you, your mum or dad, a friend or something like that. People love to see younger people there, by the way, because they'll get excited because they're like, oh wow, I wish I was doing this when I was your age, is what you will hear. So you should be going out to those people. And by the way, if you're watching on YouTube, button for me, would appreciate that. And David's just saying he's added me to his LinkedIn network. Thank you very much, David. I appreciate that. And click subscribe as well. Come and join us in the mastermind group as well. We go live 3 times a week, by the way. Mondays, which is tomorrow, which is business growth. Wednesdays, which is property cash flow show. And Friday is the mindset and hustle show. Although we didn't go live on Friday because I had the little one ill at home. Just going back, deal sources. Get yourself out to networking events. Get yourself into Facebook groups. Come and join my Facebook group. You need to be compliant as a sourcer as well, by the way. So there is a Facebook group by Tina Walsh. If you type property sourcing compliance, I'm going to find it now. Tina's one of my clients, by the way. Wonderful person. Go join the property sourcing compliance group on Facebook, and then just put a message out and ask who is a property sourcer in London, and they will come up. And I think that will do us. We've gone live for 45 minutes. That's the longest live I think I've ever done. My voice is going a little bit raspy. I hope that's useful for you. We'll catch up with you in the mastermind group tomorrow, Monday, and the business growth show. Hope you can join me for that. Other than that, stay safe. Buy your toilet roll. Get everything you need. Get your deodorant and your razor blades, stuff that we forgot. We remembered at the last minute and got extras in. Get all that stuff in. UK is going to get shut down the next week for sure. As touch wood, as sure as wood is wood. Please take care, and we'll catch up with you live in the Facebook group tomorrow. My name's Dan Latto. Have a good day. Speak soon. Take care.